Cue the intro. All righty. This is Jerry Dime with How to Get Out of Babylon and Flat Earth Homeland and upcoming Ozark Plateau Relocation Headquarters Association. Ozark Plateau Relocation Association Headquarters. There you go. Whatever. Oprah. Oprah win free to the Ozark Plateau. Oh, yeah. Okay. Hey, I got to finish up a few things. I want to do talk about something I found in relation to diamond and man, carbon 6, atomic weight 6, and gematria. So, but and I might have talked about it already. I don't know how many videos I've made that didn't take, corrupted. I don't remember. So what the hey? Just it is what it is. Okay, I'm gonna turn this other light off because it's just sitting there doing nothing. All right. So back to briefly a couple things I wanted to cover on self-defense. I've pretty much been, I admit it, a pacifist all my life. I mean, not by mentality, just because I'm not a very belligerent person. I don't get in fights. Lived with a Vietnam vet for 4 years in Kansas. Only thing I've ever been good at in life is killing people. And there's days when I wake up and every muscle in my body is like steel. And I'm in a black rage, and if I see anybody, I will kill them. Except for my 2 friends in Indiana and you and your family. Whew. Really short list. Talk about a short list. Yeah. Stories. Oh, campfire stories galore. Why did I talk about that? I don't know. Just self-defense. Might have been a reason. Anyway. So, I'm going to pause it for a sec. So, yeah, I remember. Okay. Both of us went to apply for a job at a shoe place. Payless Shoes. Oh my gosh. This test was a psychological test, and it was a this test, and it was a that test. And one of them was, have you ever been in a fight? Well, you know, we both worked at a place called PTMW, and they started doing bulletproof buildings. And we had to drill into this fiberglass stuff, and they weren't bulletproof. This guy took it home and tested. He said 22 went through it, a shotgun and blew it apart, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, Chicago, L.A., a lot of people, they were shooting them up at L.A., the railroad buildings that control the rails, traffic and everything. Anyway, he drilled into that stuff, and it's powdered, and it got in the air, and it irritated his forearms, like up to his shirt sleeve. I kid you not. It looked like, I don't know, tornado map of the United States. There were streaks, 200 streaks per arm at least. Shrapnel, glass, knife wounds, knife fights, bar fights, broken beer bottles, barbed wire, concertina wire, escaped prisoner stuff, who knows. Literally like 200 scars. They lit up like brilliant white. Amazing. Anyway, the thing there was self-defense. So one of the things on the test was, have you ever been in a fight? And he's like, every American boy's been in a fight. I was like, well, I was in a fight when I was in 5th grade one time. I didn't start it, He's killed people his whole life. Weird life I've had. How we ever hit it off, we did. It was just beyond me. My thing is St. Francis, Lord, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference, not to choke the living shit out of, whoever irritates me. So anyway, self-defense. I got to get on this. So you have your weapons, and this is, I'm going to go somewhere with this because the FUD, okay, the female urinary device, and self-defense in that situation, digging a hole for. Just take it with you. You go in the woods, take this with you. It's not, well, it's heavy, but, hey, have it in a pack. A Kydex sheath would be the best way to carry this thing where, you just jerk on it and it comes out. It holds it really solid. Look at Kydex. That you mold it, you put your rivets in, then you heat it, and it holds it tight, but snug, but you can jerk it. So, you could have it like this, or like this behind your back, or, like when Crocodile Dundee, this guy walked in, yeah, and he's like, yeah. And she says, Linda, whoever, says, Kozlowski, he's got a knife. And he goes, that's not a knife, mate. This is a knife, and he pulls out his big old Bowie knife, Arkansas toothpick looking thing. So anyway, self-defense. Yeah. So, some people have had a rough life, and some people have had a very pampered life, a very comfortable life. And I am sitting here in this situation here, having met Jersey online and miracles, bought this place together. If it ends up being, a place for her family and some other people, awesome. I'm all for that. It's seed. Plant it, bury it, move on if you have to, But anyway, Jersey had a very tough life, and I'm not going to go into a lot of things, but maybe someday she'll do a testimony, Woman of the Woods thing, and give a little bit of, but things I don't even want to think about because so horrific, beaten, you're talking knives, cigarette burns, gun in the mouth. Just she's told me it's just very little, I know, and I don't. It's hard for me to process it because for many, many years I was so torn up by that kind of thing that it's what drove me, but it almost killed me too. It's a killing burden to feel that, to hear the screams almost, and to know the horror and the terror of man's inhumanity to man. That's what's driven me. So I don't even want to start thinking about it because that'll be it. It'll be done for the night. So she has had a very rough life and has come through. And other people, such as the reason that I'm sitting here, I would be at home with my ex-wife, who has been pampered and has been, had a very nice life. Never missed a meal, never been hit, never been beaten, never been stabbed, never been burned by a cigarette butt, never had a gun stuck in her mouth. But anyway, my point is, one of the things we want to focus on is self-defense for women, and it'll be a woman's only thing. I'll let male instructors sometimes because they're good at it, but that'll be one of the things we want to focus on. So if you're interested in that, just kind of stay in touch with us on that as things develop. Okay? So Jersey's tested this. She can use it. Works great, she said. Didn't practice. They say practice in the shower, but she didn't. She just used it, and she said she did great with it. No problem. So I could see getting the what do you call it, the Go Girl thing with the 12-inch silicone tube, where you can buy a vinyl tube or whatever, and cut that into about 3 or 4 pieces to just make that a little bit longer if you wanted to, whatever. You don't need a 12-inch thing unless you're putting it into a bottle, and which would be a good thing. If you're in a tent or something, then yeah, that would be, a good thing to have. So, but Jersey has this problem about learning from other people. She wants to learn everything on her own. Well, to me, this comes under the heading of there's people who can read and learn, and there's people who can listen to another person and learn, and those people who, I'm combining a couple things here, teaching lessons, object lessons, and sanitation and self-defense. So there's those people that just have to go out and piss on the electric fence themselves. So I really, really, really want to, let's pretend scenario, and Jersey's here, and she has her female urinary device, her STP, stand up pee, and we'll find an electric fence, and we'll get out there, and she can, since she wants to learn on her own, I think this should be good for 250,000, maybe, who knows, 15 million hits and a bunch of money, I want her to pee on the electric fence herself and learn herself, since that's the only way she wants to learn. Hi. Jerry Diamond, I'm going to chase you down and beat you. I can hear it now. Har har. Okay, so anyway. Yeah, good object lesson. So, hey, on the stove thing here, it's got legs. It does have screws. I was like, these things are not very, stable, but it does have screws. So I'm going to screw it in and raise it up. The higher it stays off the ground, the better off it'll be, because the less dust will get sucked into the heating element. So I definitely want to get it up. And it would be really cool if it had a remote, so you could, wake up and ding, it could be a night light when you're going to sleep. Go to sleep, turn it off when you wake up, a little bit, and then turn it on in the morning, warm up the room. It has 3 switches. One is just the on, and that's really cool, because it is. There's no heat coming out of it now. I would not have it on if it had a heat on. And then it's got a high and low, and I don't know what the settings are. It says 1400 watt, but I don't know if it's. Usually it's like 600 and 900 on most heaters. 600, 900 is, it's 1500, but this is 14. Is it 7 and 7? Is it 6 and 8? I don't know. Whatever. Who cares? But a remote would have been cool, but hey, whatever. If I can put it somewhere where I can plug it in, unplug it. That's at the house where I've been staying. My night light was, I had a plug, and I unplugged it every night, plug it in the morning. So John and Haley knew that when that light was on, I was awake, sort of, So I'd plug it in as soon as I heard them in the morning on a Saturday or Sunday, so they would not feel like, they couldn't come in there. But anyway, so if I can, there is a plug right over the bed, but I don't think the cord's long enough to, if I find an extension cord, somebody bring me a 6-foot cord, a heavy one, because this thing's probably has some draw to it. But we will somehow, I'll rig it so I can either have a switch or plug it in. So, alrighty, that's about it on that. The next video is going to be pretty heavy, pretty cool. So I think that was it on self-defense object lessons and learning procedures. See, I want to say, I will say a little bit more, because the thing is that, Messiah, when the rich young ruler came to him, Lord, what must I do? Rabbi, what must I do to gain eternal life? And he'd ask him a question, and he'd ask him a question, and Nicodemus would ask him a question, Socrates, taught by asking questions. And so the thing is that if you really, to me as a teacher, I want someone to figure things out on their own. I can tell you something, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. You can lead a Christian to truth, but you can't make him think. And that's very difficult. So I'm hoping to be able to mentor some people and teach some people, and I like to do it by asking questions. One of my ones to Jersey has been, she watched a movie about Esther, and I said, how and why did Esther become queen? Now, if anybody wants to write in on the comment section and tell me the truth, the correct answer, I said it's an open book test. Read the book. Read the Bible. Read the book of Esther. Google. Every single hit I looked at on Google had the correct answer. I asked one sister on the phone. I mentioned that situation, that scenario, and she gave me the right answer, like within seconds. So it's real simple. It's real plain, but it's real foundational to the kingdom, and it's really foundational to something like, business relationship. It's real fun, really, absolutely sine qua non that without nothing will happen of a marriage. So something very, very important. Yep. So if anybody has the answer to that, shoot it to me. And I was thinking there was another question, a contest, a question. So, yeah, maybe that, if someone gets it, whatever, we'll give you a bounty button. We'll start doing things. I'll send you some clothesline pins. No. Yeah, there you go. Stainless steel clothesline pins. So, anyway. Alrighty. Because I want to start doing that. I want to start, making things fun. The whole, thing about life can be fun. It can be serious but fun.